Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve, otherwise known as Pin, and today we're going to take a look at the Aegis Nautilus. Now this ship definitely has my attention. It certainly has me intrigued for numerous reasons. So what I'm going to try and do in this video is explain why I think it will be a good ship, why I think it will add to Star Citizen as a whole, especially in terms of game loops. Then we'll try and discuss some of the logistics that I think are going to be quite important, and then we'll try and go over some of the details of the ship itself, the mines it's able to carry, and then we'll do some sort of what I would like to see with this particular ship, because I do actually think it has quite a large potential to be a very effective combat ship, but only time will tell, right? So that's what we're going to try and cover in today's video. So it's going to be a lot of guesswork, there's a lot of grey areas, but also, like I said, quite a lot of potential for this particular vessel. Now, aesthetically, I like the look of this ship. I think it looks super cool. We've got two massive size 7s on the chin, so that's a little bit in your face. We have some turrets, I'm not sure how I feel about the turrets being sort of squeezed in there. I kind of like the look, but then I kind of don't. It's weird. This ship is yes, I want one, but it's weird looking. Do you know what I mean? I can't quite put my finger on it, but something doesn't quite sit right with me, and I don't have the descriptive power of the English language at my disposal, because I am, after all, just a pinhead. But I do think there is going to be some serious potential for this ship. I also think the mines will be pretty effective for two reasons, but we'll come on to that, for two main reasons anyway. We'll come on to that in a bit. So what do we actually know about the Nautilus? Well, it's a corvette size ship, okay? It has a carrying capacity of 24 mines. Now you might think 24 mines in space, useless, okay? You might just write that off until you realise that these mines, and there are three variants at the moment, have a range of between 5 and 10 kilometers, okay? So that's quite a lot of range. They have micro thrusters on them, and the homing mine, for example, will be able to detect a target between 5 and 10 kilometers and then fly over there and hopefully destroy said ship or vessel or wherever it might be, okay? We also know that these mines will not be able to be deployed in atmosphere because they just don't have the thruster power to stay in orbit. Not in orbit, sorry, in like the skyline of a planet. So they will be space mines and space mines only, which kind of makes sense. That avoids main traffic routes for cargo runners and stuff constantly getting blown up by mines, etc. So I think that's a good touch. But there are some uses I think this ship will have, in my mind at least, where it will be an effective combat ship. So let's imagine we have a rival org and they have their fleet, and they're after my nutritious and delicious Banu merchantman full of goodies and rare artifacts, and I'm trying to GTFO. And let's say I jump through a jump point, okay? They have a Kraken and an Idris following me. I have a Nautilus in my fleet, and I order that Nautilus to immediately get into the jump point exit where I've exited through the jump point, and get them to mine that entire area with a 5 to 10 kilometer range. They're going to have a tough time negotiating that minefield, in my opinion. 5 to 10 kilometers, 24, all around the jump point exit. Very hard pressed to get through that unscathed. Sure, a Kraken could probably take the punishment, and sure, probably an Idris, but any supporting fighters or logistical ships that enemy fleet has is very much going to succumb to that. I would like to think in my little scenario there. So I do think it's going to have uses. Another use that I've kind of been toying with is when I get my Banu, beautiful Banu merchantman, best ship ever. Guys, do you see Star Citizen Live? Do you see the images of that? Oh my god. Alright, that's another video before I start getting on my Banu Merchantman vibe. Let's pretend I'm in that ship and I set my beacon up, open up shop, and I'm in space and I want some protection from behind. Then I'm going to mine the hell out the back, or all around the back area of my Banu Merchantman, so no one can creep up on me. Things like that. So those are a couple of scenarios. I could spend ages dreaming up many, trust me. But I do think there will be very legitimate uses for space mining with the Nautilus, because it seems to me, from what I've read, the community seems to be relatively split. There are those that say that it's going to be useless, and there are those that say no, it's going to be awesome. I will not say it's going to be useless, because I just don't think that's something that makes sense to me, because why would they go to all the time and effort to make this ship for the sake of it? I also think that with the types of mines this ship will get, it will definitely offer up multiple game loops. And I also think that ships like the Vulcan and the Carrack are going to have a role to play with mine laying, right? Because it asks and throws up some questions. Like, how can we negotiate a minefield? Do we scan them? Can we kill them with EMPs? Does that knock them out? Can we use the drones from a Carrack to disarm them and steal them? What about the Vulcan? Can the Vulcan use its drones to maybe disarm them? It won't be able to store them, I don't think. There's some game loops there. You could go out stealing the Nautilus mine if you've got a Carrack. Maybe that's one way to get around it. Maybe a Sentinel could go out and deploy EMPs all over the place, knocking them out. So it's very interesting, the sort of gameplay that could come to us through this mining ship. And here you have a picture of the bridge, and this really stands out to me. I actually really like the design of this bridge. So pilot, co-pilot, captain, I would assume, with the nav table, he'll be plotting the mine laying course, I would have thought. And I believe the mines are actually deployed via a separate station elsewhere on the ship. So kind of like the Polaris, there's going to be the bridge, and then instead of a torpedo bay where the communication will be key, there will be a guy somewhere else on the ship deploying said mines. So that's going to be, communication will be important. Again, I like that because it makes it more immersive. It brings in communication, which is always nice to see. And as you can see here, the ship is actually very technical. They've certainly got their work cut out from this image. There's a lot to get in there to model in, so I wouldn't expect this ship anytime soon. However, I am really looking forward to it, and I definitely want one in my fleet, because like I said, I really do think that this ship will offer up maybe one or two, or possibly even three different game loops, which is awesome, right? Because the more we can do, the more we enjoy the game, and it just offers up new opportunities and revenue streams, etc., to make the game even more interesting and enjoyable than it already is. But yeah, very complex ship. I mean, it certainly looks complex to me with these blueprint schematics. Again, I'm not sure I like the turret location there. I'm pretty sure it's fine, but I don't think they offer too much protection towards the rear of the ship. Yeah, I'm not set on the turrets being there, but I'm not complaining about it, is sort of my feeling. So length 125 meters, width 72, height 21.6, a crew of 8, utility mounts, drone ×1, mine retrieval, disarmament. And then we have a size 7 mine DWP. I mean, this could all change, by the way, guys. Then we have our weapon systems, 64 SCU of cargo space, jump drive large, QT drive large, power plant ×2 large, shield generators 3 times large, coolers 2 large, life support large, fuel tanks ×1 large, and a QT fuel tanks of ×2 large. So everything on it is quite beefy. Like I said, I think it's pretty much a Corvette-sized ship. Okay, let's now have a look at the 3 variants we know this ship is going to have. So we have 3 types of mines. Top left, we have the homing mine, which, you know, looks fairly evil. It has the same explosive power as a size 5 torp, by the way, so they certainly pack a punch, okay? Center bottom, we have a sentry mine, again equipped with 2 size 2 ballistic weapons, I believe, and they're going to be extremely accurate. And then we have top right, we have the sort of retrieval drone. So they're the 3 we know this ship is going to get. So let's first take a look at the homing mine. The Firestorm Kinetics Tephra homing mine is built to establish defensive boundaries. Once armed, it moves towards any hostile target within range. Once it reaches lethal proximity, it detonates with a devastating explosion. Again, a size 5 torpedo size explosion. So that's nothing to turn your nose up at. That's going to destroy smaller ships with ease, and I imagine that's still going to give quite a substantial amount of damage to any large vessels travelling through your minefield. Now these mines can be detected via scanning, I believe, but they have small signatures, so they will be a bit more tricky to detect. Again, the range is 5 to 10 kilometers. That could change at any point. I imagine there will be a lot of tuning required for them to get this up and running to a respectable state. So we're going to have to wait and see how that plans out. Then we have the VLR-11 Sentry Mine's primary role is perimeter defense. Upon deployment, the mine lays dormant until a hostile target enters its range. When activated, it will fire its equipped weapons with high accuracy. So, I like that idea. That goes back to my Banu Merchantman. You know, if I'm in I could set up a little minefield around the back there to help prevent any sort of fighters or anything like that trying to sneak up on me. Think of it as a deterrent. I like that idea. I think that's really cool. What would be nice is, will we be able to swap out the weapons on these? I don't know. I would like to see that in the game at some point. If we could swap out maybe the Gatling's ballistics, if they are, to energy weapons, so that we have a longer life rather than an ammo count. That'd be cool. Yeah, so I definitely think there's a lot of things that we could do with these mines, okay? The Nautilus is equipped with the Saga Data Systems tailor-made Nemo drones. Neutralize and employ mine ordnance, which are specifically designed to safely identify, deactivate, and collect all mines compatible with the Nautilus platform. So these will go out and retrieve your mines you put out if they haven't been detonated or destroyed in asteroid fields, etc. Which is cool. I like the idea of being able to retrieve them. I also like the idea, let's hope that the Carrack gets this drone. You could steal these mines. You could steal them. Send these drones out, steal them, store them in your bay. I think the Carrack is more than capable of storing some of these that you could sell and make money on. Now, another question is, are these mines going to degrade over time? And from what I've read, I believe that these mines should degrade over time. How much time? I'm not sure. But things like leaving them in an asteroid field, let's say Aaron's Belt, they're going to pick up damage at some point, right? So just general wear and tear and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, certainly an interesting game loop. There's a lot to talk about with the mines. There's a lot I would like to see with them. I would like to see maybe an EMP mine could be something that would be really cool. So rather than killing things, you could disable them. Maybe even data mines, right? That could be very cool to have data mines. I'm not sure how that would work. It's just a theory I'm throwing out there for pure speculation. But certainly interesting, right? These are some of the things I've been thinking about when it comes to this ship. So it is intriguing, the gameplay with the mines, and The other point I would like to make about said mines is they don't have to kill things to be effective, right? You could have a minefield in front of you that you've detected in whatever ship you're in, okay? Now, if I was to do that, come across a minefield, I am more than likely going to be like, okay, well, I'm not going through there then. And by that very definition, those mines have done their job. You don't necessarily have to score a kill to make these mines effective. You know, a deterrent is just as powerful as a kill itself, in my opinion. When you see minefields with the sign saying, caution, mines, you don't go, well, do you know what, I'll take my chances and just hop on through there. You go, no, sod that, I'm going around the long way, I'm not going through there. Are you mental? So that will also work just as effectively, you know, the deterrent side of the mining ship, which I think is an overlooked aspect of this particular vessel, in my opinion. So there is a lot to talk about. There's still a lot to get to grips with, and there's still a lot we need to find out. I think EMPs clearing, the drones of the Carrack stealing mines. Now we know that 5 to 10 kilometers is quite large, but are they going to have the fuel for the thrusters to follow you that far? I imagine evading mines would rely on speed and stealth. I think stealth gameplay would be paramount to avoiding mines, right? If we can get the stealth gameplay swinging into its full potential, I think that's a way to navigate through a minefield. You know, it could be really sneaky, do what the enemy least expect and go through that minefield. You know, imagine the Eclipse sneaking through a minefield and then deploying torps on its target. Very interesting covert stuff. So I definitely think this ship is full of potential. I definitely want one in my fleet. There's a lot of speculation in this video, guys. There's a lot of grey areas, but I just wanted to sort of share my thoughts of why I think this ship will be great, and just some of the ideas I had floating in my brain box. Now, I will get one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get one, because I like what it offers and the opportunities it provide, and I also think I'd like to run into one in the verse and see how I could deal with that. But as always, guys, it's sort of like an open discussion. So I would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Nautilus? Do you have one? Do you want one? If you have one, how are you going to deploy it? Are you going to deploy more than one? Are you in an org that has more than one? How are you going to man it? All very interesting things. How would you like this ship to perform in the verse? All very important, guys. I read all the comments, or try to. I do my best. There's no right or wrong answer, so keep it civil. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will have more Star Citizen content en route to your location soon. Cheers.